Hey, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Joe. I run a construction company, I run a real estate development company, and now we're getting into the training space. And we do millions and millions of dollars a year in development. And I have a way and a process that I can show you how to do what I do. I started my business a long time ago, but what I remember in it is that my cash flow sucked. It was never even. I would finish one job and the next job wouldn't start for a while. Or I'd finish one job and the next job get delayed. And I remember really struggling figuring out how I was going to pay the good guys that I needed to keep on my crew and how I could actually get to the stage where I could actually afford a project manager who's running the job while I'm not there, while I'm out selling it and getting more jobs and buying more equipment and planning and growing the business. And I fell into this thing that allowed me to do it. I call it the BOGO method now. It wasn't called that back then, but what I did was I was able to buy a house in a market that I'm already in, and I was able to fix it up and sell it and divide off a lot. And I tell you what, the difference in this whole thing is that I was looking for very specific properties where I could divide off the lot. So I could make zero to a little money on fixing up the house, but I could keep my crews busy because I used it as filler work. And while I was doing that, I was also dividing off the lot. Now, I'll tell you, I was using the same skills I already know how to use. I was talking to the same types of people that I already talked to, meaning government, building officials, inspectors, things like that, suppliers. This all goes hand in hand with what I was already doing. But what it did is it allowed me to make an extra $80,000 so that I could afford and know that I could pay a really good guy to run my operation in the field so that I could afford to pay and buy that dump truck or that small skid steer or whatever it was I needed. And it also, like, the most important part is that it gave me peace of mind so that I could sleep. It gave me peace of mind so I could stop worrying about how I was going to make payroll or how I was going to be able to afford that guy that I needed on my crew and keep him busy year round. And I call it the BOGO method. I'm going to teach you how to do all those things. It's super simple. It works. It's proven. I've done it so many times for so many years. And if you follow the process, you'll win. So instead of just finding a house to fix and flip, I'm going to show you how we add that extra profit. And here's how we do it: is we get in the RMLS, we get on Zillow, we get in Realtor.com, and we go and we find a house that meets those parameters. And I tell you exactly what the parameters are and how to find what the local zoning code is and the things to look out in your own zone. Super simple, very easy. The way I teach it, I've done it so many times. I could do this actually probably in my sleep a little bit. And I teach you. So what we're going to do is we're going to find that house. We're going to find the zoning. We're going to find the code. We're going to dig out the things we need to dig. We're going to go and look at the street. We're going to make sure the street has the things that we want to have in it. Then we're going to go and we're going to talk to the planner. And we're going to tell them exactly what we want to do in a very specific, well laid out, organized way. And then we're going to document it. And we're going to go back. We're going to document everything else we've done. Then we're going to write the offer. We're going to write the offer. We're going to get the offer accepted. Once we have it accepted, we're going to go find the money. And I'm going to tell you how to go to the title company and how to talk to these people. And we're going to build a package so that when you give the investor this idea, you're not just talking to them on the phone. You have a package. You have a way to document it, a way to say, I've done my research. It's all in here. Take a look. And I'll tell you what, those guys, money flocks to people who are organized, who know what they're doing, who run it like a business. And we're going to get the investor, and then we're going to buy the property, and we're going to have our set plan on how we're going to remodel the house, while at the same time we're dividing off the land legally on the side of it. And you know those projects, remember where I was talking about, like, you have a hole in your cash flow because this project ended and this one didn't start on time. Well, guess where you're going to send your guys during that time period where you're open? Is you're going to send them to that house to remodel it. So you're not going to have the gap in cash flow, and you're going to get paid for it because we're going to do construction draws on it. We're going to have a construction loan on it, so you're going to be able to pay yourself. And I show how I set that up and how I made it so that my construction company got paid for it. And how it was an advantage to me because I was able to keep those construction guys and buy that equipment and keep my cash flow even. And then I'm going to show you how to finish it. Like, it's super simple. We finish it, what we do to prepare to put it on the market so that it sells quickly, how we think about pricing. But see, we've thought about pricing it on the sales side when we were buying it. We already built that into the numbers. So when we go to sell it, it's not a big deal. We're not looking at trouble like, oh, the market tanked or this happened. I build all of that in. We build all of that in. And so what happens is that now you're running your business. I haven't asked you for a whole bunch of extra time. You haven't had to learn new skills. You haven't had to learn how to do something totally different. You've just taken an hour here and an hour there out of your normal schedule, and you've put it into this, and you have a whole nother stream of cash. You have a whole nother stream for your guys, for your equipment. Plus, guess what? You're making extra money. You're making money so you can buy that first rental, or you can buy that boat, or you can buy that extra piece of equipment and pay cash. You're making money. So that's what we do. And that's how smart people grow their business. They're not looking for a side hustle that is totally, completely different from what you're doing now. They're looking for things that are aligned with what you're doing now. And things where you can make money where you already have the expertise in. And I want to help you use that expertise to make the extra money. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a deal I have going on now. And I just want to tell you, everybody's numbers in your market are different, okay? I know that. The whole United States is not the same. But I'm going to use the numbers in one of the markets that I'm working in right now. So I bought this house. I figured out that I could divide off 2 extra lots. And those lots could be duplex lots. Or they could be townhouse lots where you can sell each side of the duplex, okay? So I bought this house. I offered them, they were asking $275,000. I knew this was going to be a hot deal because at $275,000 you can make money on the remodel. So I just offered them $299,000. They took my offer, and then we did inspections on the house and came back and we sold somewhere around the $279,000 price. So I bought the house. I knew it was going to cost me about $150,000 to fix it up. So all in with taxes and insurance, I'm in this thing, what is that, 300 plus It's like 450-ish, 450-ish, and then I'm gonna have holding costs on top of that. Well, I figured that the house alone, because it was on the side of a hill, has an amazing view once we chop down some trees and open that up a little bit, and it has a master on the main, and it has like a kid's playroom upstairs and some other things, that we would probably be able to make between $80,000 and $100,000 on the deal, just on the house. Now what I did was I also went and I divided up the land. So I have a surveyor that went and did a topo study and then also came up and drew up the land division. And the land division, because this house was on the side of the hill, we had a couple extra things that we had to do, like a steep slope permit and some other things, which I can teach you how to do. It's not a deal killer. It's just an extra step. And so we did those things. So now I have a house where we're going to make $80,000 to $100,000 on it, and then where we're going to have 2 lots or 4 lots, depending on how we divide it up. And if we have 2 lots, the lots are worth $150,000 each. And if we have 4 lots, they're worth about $80,000 each. So then when I pull out like the cost to do that, which is about the survey and topo is about $20,000, the fees and the stuff to get it approved by the city is about another $5,000, and then you have miscellaneous expenses, like we're gonna have to put in like a drainage ditch, and there's some things we're gonna have to do, improvements along that road there that we're gonna have to pay for. And I was able to negotiate those out to about $20,000, where we pay for them instead of put them in, because there's no other sidewalk or curb and gutter on that road. So I just give them the money so that they can do it when they can pay for it when the city decides to do it or when other people do a stretch of it. Anyway, I kind of got in the weeds there, but what I'm trying to get at is that this deal that took me, I had to put in, over $100,000, about $120,000 to do this deal, I'm going to more than double my money. And it's going to happen in less than 12 months. Now, here's the other great thing about this project is that while I'm doing all of these things, because, as a contractor, you're just constantly answering the phone. We're getting permits, we're getting approvals, we're getting our jobs inspected, we're doing all of those things. I'm just doing the same thing that I would normally do on a job for someone else, only it's my job. Only I'm the one who's pulling the draws from the bank, and I show you how to do that, where I'm paying my crew, and we're using this job as a straight filler job. Like this job, we're not on this job all the time. It's after we finish one job here and we have some gap, they go to that job and they know what to do. And it's just like, we're just showed up at another job. Here we go. Now we're doing it. So in doing that, what I've done though is I've evened out my cash flow in my business, and I'm making a lot of extra money. And I'm doing the same thing I would normally be doing. I'm using the same skills. That's the thing. A lot of people talk about like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do this side hustle. The problem with those is that you're not using the skills that you're already really good at. This, I'm using all the skills I already understand and I'm good at. So if any of this interests you, you should book a call. If this is truly life-changing, and it's, I know that if you do one deal, you'll do more. But it's truly life-changing in the sense that it gives your business that jump that it needs. It gives your family that jump that it needs. It gives the stress where you're up all night trying to figure out how you're going to pay all these bills so you can grow. It allows you to sleep so that you can get up and go do what you have to do. But it doesn't do that if you don't start. It doesn't do that if you don't make the call. Because I can show you how to do it. I can show you how I've done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I can show you all of those things. But if you don't make the call and show up for it, I can't help you. You're going to be stuck in the same shit loop that you're in right now. Right? So the other thing about this process, the BOGO method, is that everybody out there is trying to make money on the flip of the house, which I get, and you should, but you don't have to. And so what does that do? Is that allows us to do deals and buy deals that other people can't buy, because they're not looking at it the same way we are. They're looking at it as like, hey, if I buy this house and I flip it, it's going to cost me $50,000 to remodel it. I need a $50,000 profit or $20,000, whatever the number is. So I need to build that in. Then I have sales costs, holding costs, insurance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, here, if you don't make any money, or you make a little money on the flip because you're making all your money on the extra lot, well, guess what? Your numbers are different. And the other thing is too, is that you make more money on the lot than you do on the flip, almost always. So you're making more money. You're not doing any real extra work. You don't have to learn an extra skill. You're using the same skills and the same things that you already know how to do to make the extra money. And it goes hand in hand. It's hand in hand. So that's what we teach here at the BOGO method. That's what I teach you to do. I was in your same spot when I was a contractor. I was in the shit loop. I was in the cash flow hell where, man, I was eating really good or I was not eating at all. I was eating really good or I wasn't eating at all. I was in the thing where I was trying to hire the foreman so that he could run the jobs for me and run the crew and have all the tools and do all that stuff, and how I could pay him year round. It's a scary thing. It's super scary. I remember it was terrifying. But I'll tell you what, when you do the BOGO method hand in hand, it evens out that cash flow. It allows you to do some things that you couldn't do without it, and vice versa. So it's a win-win. So if you're a contractor or if you're in the trades already, you already know how to do a lot of this, and this goes hand in hand, and you can make a lot of extra money. So here's the thing. I was a contractor. I worked for a contractor. I was the guy digging the dishes. I knew I didn't want to do that the rest of my life. So if you're that guy, I know how you're feeling. But I will say this: it's amazing what you learn from just being around and seeing how things are done. And then I went out on my own. I started my own contracting business, and so I already had the skills. Like I grew up in it. So if you're one of those two people, this method is really awesome for you, and it's super easy. So I'm gonna spill the secrets. I was told to give it away, so here it is. One is that I'm gonna teach you how to find a house with additional land where you can divide off the land. So I'm going to teach you how to just like get on Zillow or get on realtor.com and find those houses. And the way I do it is relatively easy. And I only look in 3 zip codes. We're not looking at a zip code that's across the country. We're looking at a zip code that's close to us, where we do work in, where we want to work. Okay. So I teach you that. I teach you where to find the zoning and how to find the zoning and what it means and what to look for. I teach you what to look for in the lot, like what needs to be in the street, what What kind of extra expenses can we expect to pay? Where's the zoning? How does it all fit together? I teach you all of that. I teach you how to go and talk to the city planner and what to say and the questions to ask them so that you come out of that conference or that meeting knowing exactly what you have to do to get what you want, which is ultimately an extra lot. So the only decision you have to make right now is if you want to book a call, hear more about it. You have to show up to the call, but you'll hear more about it. You'll learn how to do it, and you'll learn how to do it the right way the first time so you're not screwing around, not making money on your first deal. That's a very costly expense, and it's way more costly than it is the price of the course. So my advice to you, if you're tired of shitty cash flow, if you're tired of being in the shit loop, if you're tired of your cash flow going up and down like this and never always feeling like you're walking on pins and needles, book the call, show up for the call, and then make the decision.